Now all we have left to do is do a couple rows of twining like we did at the beginning. If you need a refresher on that, again, just go back to that first video, and I'm just gonna do it real quick, fast forward it for you, and then talk about cutting your work off of the loom. All right, so now I've come to the end of my twining. I'm just gonna try and tuck these ends behind the work. And now comes the fun part. Once I find my scissors. All right, so now we get to cut our samplers off of the loom. So we want to leave, this is part of the function of this cardboard piece, is we need a few inches on either side of the warp so that we can do one of two things. We're either gonna tie little tassels, which is what I'm gonna do and what most of you are probably gonna do. It's just the easier method. The other option is to actually take a needle and weave all of these ends into the tapestry. And I'll show you a little bit about that in the next video, but yeah, so we're gonna leave as much space as this is allowed on the bottom, and then equal to that up top, if not a little more. Just the more space you have, the better. You can always trim them equally afterwards. But yeah, so I'm just gonna snip this. I'm gonna hold my work as I do that so it doesn't fall. Throughout this whole process, until I get all my warp ends resolved, I really don't want to let this hang. I want to keep it flat because I don't want anything scooching off of the warp. So there's one end, and now I'm just gonna cut all of these ends as well. Trying to get, it's a little tricky with the card in here, but trying to get it under and as close to the nail as I can, so that can't really see, so that I'm getting as much length in my work as possible. All right, so then now that's off the loom, and now you're gonna want to lay it flat. I will say I left really a lot of very long ends on the back, so I'm just gonna go ahead, this is just a pain, I'm gonna go ahead and just give them all a haircut. Some of these are super long and they're getting in my way. Some dull scissors here. We do want to leave a few inches on all of these. Alright, put my loom aside and just place this flat on the table. And, you know, if you don't have time now to finish it, which I don't, and I'll come back later to do and I'll show you, you can just, you know, keep it flat, and then you will tie the tassels, and we'll talk about what to do with all this stuff in back as well.